Well, good morning. Welcome to our National Adoption Day celebration. My name is Wendy Atanasio. I am a permanency specialist with Children and Families First and also the co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Adoption, the group that organized this event. We are thrilled to have you here today as this is one of our favorite days. Before I continue, I would like to give a special thanks to the Office of Child Advocate for funding the event, the Elizabeth Murphy School for allowing us the space for the event, and for our volunteer professional photographer, Alexis Lee. As we all know, the number of children in foster care can feel overwhelming, but days like this help us have hope for positive outcomes. Today, we have 7 families finalizing their adoptions. Woohoo! That is the most finalizations we ever had on National Adoption Day, and we'll get to those in a bit. For now, let's recognize all the families in the room that have adopted in the past with a quick round of applause, and you can stand up if you like. Because you are the reason why we are here today. Before I move on, I wanted to introduce the family court judges joining us today. And I am thrilled that they could be here with us today. Today with us we have Judge Coppage, Judge Hurst, Judge Jones, Judge Pyatt, and Judge Rary. Before I move on, the work that the judges do to help the children in the foster care system to achieve permanency is invaluable. We all know that a child's time in foster care can be difficult. Having judges who are genuinely committed to the child's safety, well-being, and future makes all the difference in the world. Remember that adoption is a lifelong commitment, and so are adoption supports. Even after a child is adopted and reaches permanency, challenges can or may arise. That is why we warmly invite you all to participate in post-adoption services. Today we have information available to help you get started, so please take this opportunity to pick up some of the resources available in the back. Getting involved in post-adoption support now, even if everything is A-OK, can be a magnificent benefit. It is easier to reach out for help when you need it later, and it also is a wonderful opportunity to build connections with other adopted families. Now it's time for us to move on with the special part of our morning event. We are lucky to have today a great speaker, Trini Parker. Trini is a director of the Division of Family Services, and she has dedicated almost 30 years to serving children and family. So let's give her a big round of applause, and let's welcome her today.
30 years, huh? It's kind of hard to hear that out loud, which is why I grabbed for my reading glasses, because I've been doing this for 30 years. So good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for this wonderful, wonderful event. This is probably one of the best events that we have annually in the world of child welfare. It really makes sense that this happens around the Thanksgiving holiday, because we are here because we are so thankful and we have gratitude for what is happening today. Wendy highlighted something that is so important, which is post-adopt supports. So there is information in the back of the room. Please grab some information about that to learn more about that, and to think about this being just one step in the rest of your journey. Being a parent is the hardest job that anyone will ever have. Sometimes the benefits aren't real great. You work really, really long hours, but when you get to the end of the journey, boy, does it really pay off. What you should do is exemplify what is kind of seen on this side of the room, and I'm going to highlight one of our units here. They're wearing t-shirts that say, "We are the village." So what I encourage all of you to do is create your village. Now, this is for any part of your life. If you are here today because you are beginning a new journey with your family, great, create a village. If you are here just because you're supporting that family, be a part of that village. What's happening today is the legalization and memorialization of something that happened for all of you a long time ago. You don't need us to sign a piece of paper to tell you that you're family. You already are family. But we are here to celebrate your commitment to that. So thank you to all of the families that are here today to be a part of this joyous day. I don't want to take a lot more time because we have a busy schedule. As Wendy mentioned, we are finalizing 7 adoptions today, which is more than we have ever done. But I do want to take a moment to recognize the fact that this day has been recognized by our governor. We have a proclamation that I would like to read. And unfortunately, the governor was not able to be with us today. He offers his apologies. Busy time of the year for everyone, but he did put some things in writing for us, so I'd like to read the proclamation. Office of the Governor, proclamation in recognition of National Adoption Month. Whereas in the state of Delaware, approximately 470 children are currently living away from their homes or experiencing foster care. And whereas in 2025, 75 children in Delaware have found permanent, loving families who provide the guidance, support, and care necessary to help them overcome adversity and thrive. And whereas the organizations, agencies, and individuals who support children awaiting adoption and the families who open their hearts and homes deserve our deepest appreciation and recognition. And whereas November is recognized nationally as National Adoption Month, a time to celebrate finalized adoptions and raise awareness of the thousands of children still waiting for permanent families. And whereas this observance provides an opportunity to engage communities in meaningful conversations about permanency, to uplift the voices of youth in foster care, and to reaffirm our collective commitment to supporting their resilience and well-being. Now, therefore, I, Matthew Meyer, Governor, do hereby recognize November 2025 as National Adoption Month in the state of Delaware, and urge all citizens to celebrate adoption, honor families who grow through adoption, and focus attention on the children who continue to wait for the stability and love of a permanent home. And we thank Governor Meyer for recognizing this month. And so I don't want to stand in the way of the reason that you all are here, because no one came here today to hear me talk, I'm sure of that. So I would like to turn over the program. Wendy, we didn't talk about if I was going to just have Judge Pyatt come up or if you were coming back up. No, it looks like I'm just going to have Judge Pyatt come up. So thank you all. You got it.
Training, I'm going to give this to you so that it doesn't get caught in my files. Good morning. It is a joyous day, and I am so thankful to be here with all of you. My life was changed by adoption. I'm going to start crying, so I have to be careful. But my daughter is now 25 years old and doing well in life, and this day was significant for me. What I mean by this day, the day the adoption was granted. And what I remember is as I'm going through my calendar and all of a sudden October 13th pops up, that's my adoption day for her. And I said to her, I sent her a text and I said, on this day, my life changed for the better. I got to be a parent, and for that I'm forever grateful. And so I welcome all of you at this time of Thanksgiving as we create families. And for us, that, or rather for me, that's a magical time. And I hope it will be that for you. And we've tried to make it even a little bit more magical. And so it is with great joy that I call up my first family, the Jones family. Okay. So sometimes adoption's not always planned in the very beginning. Sometimes, and I always say, this is a journey of faith, and it's whatever faith you believe in, but it's a journey of faith, and sometimes you're called into adoption and you don't even realize it. And that is the case with Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones is a grandmother who thought she was done raising her children. We all know you're never done. Never done. And she was called to raise her grandson. And he is just a beautiful child who came into this world and could have had so many challenges. But because of Miss Jones, he's thriving. And so I'd like to have, first, Ms. Collison, tell me why OCA is in support of this adoption.
OCA and the CASA that's been with this case fully support this adoption. Miss Jones has been a wonderful support, and it's just been beautiful to watch this family grow. So we think there's no better place for him to be.
All right. Ms. Jones, can you explain to me why you want me to grant this adoption? Hold on.
Judge Pyatt, you better hold that
I
mic. You
will.
know I am. So the reason why I would like for you to grant us this adoption is because Landon is my number 6 grandson. And I am so super excited. I'm proud and I'm grateful to God that he would allow me to raise this little boy. As you said, I thought I was finished. I'm retired, and I'm like, dude, are you serious? But you know what? I'm grateful. I'm grateful because for as much as I bring to his life, he brings a lot to mine, and he keeps me moving. He got mama moving.
I'm like, you don't have to worry about that. So it is with great joy that I grant this adoption. And as I said, this is a magical time. And so and I, like Trenny Parker, the years are adding those to the eyes. So it is with great joy that I grant the adoption of Landon R. Smith to Charlene Patricia Jones, and I will change his name to be Landon Isaiah Smith. I have to write myself notes too. And it's with great joy that I give you your adoption document. All right. Congratulations. Yes. And I'd like to call forward the Lockhart family. And I have joining in this adoption Albert and Valentina Lockhart, and they have with them. I have with them Gage. And as I said, it definitely is a calling. And Mr. and Ms. Sturgis decided that they wanted to foster a child, and they were just going to take him on a temporary basis. And then, after that first weekend, she knew that she couldn't part with him. And so they made the decision that they wanted to be a permanent resource for Gage. And again, this was a child that would have faced so many challenges. And with the love of this couple, he has done nothing but thrive. And so, thank you, thank you. And so I'm going to call Ms. Collison forward again. Always got to roll with it.
The Office of the Child Advocate and the CASA fully support this family. Like Judge Pyatt said, we have watched this family do nothing but love on Gage. He has thrived in their home, and we are so excited, and we just can't wait to watch him grow with you guys.
And I'm going to ask you why you want me to grant this adoption.
I want you to grant this adoption. I, too, am a grandmother, thought I was done. Me and my husband, we were like, no. We've been foster parents, and then Gage came into our lives when he was just a few weeks old. And because of all his challenges that he had, I was always concerned, where is he going to live? Because he needs a permanent home. One day I was looking over his crib. He looked up at me, and I tried to move him. I'm like, one day you're going to have a nice home. And God spoke to me and my husband and said, this is his home, and this is his family. Right, Albert? And he's not going anywhere. And I thank you. I really thank you.
Thank you for giving him the love. You can't get out of it. You can tell.
I thought I was going to get out of it, but when he first came to the house, and me and my wife was talking, and they was talking about putting him in another place, and we was at the restaurant, and I started crying, and it was with my mother-in-law, and they said, well, you're getting kind of old. And I work, I do physical work, and he tires me out, but he also keeps me young. So
Yes, he does.
I like you to honor it.
And we will have an orthopedist
Yes, we
prescribing
need some.
medication for the arthritis.
Yeah.
So again, it is with great joy that I am going to make this family as one family, because I am grateful that you came forward first to foster this child and next to offer him a permanent placement. So I grant the adoption of Gage Michael Sturgis to Albert and Valentina Lockhart, and I will change his name to Luke Gage Lockhart. I'm going to give, excuse me, so I remember what to do, to remind you of the magic you bring this family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge. Mwah. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now I would like to ask the Payne family to come forward. So we have joining us today Shayna Payne and her family, and they will be adopting Judah today. And they reside in Wilmington, and their judge of record is Judge Much, and I'm covering for Judge Much. But as part of that, I got to read the report, and I saw that once was not enough for Miss Payne. She thought she might be done, and then she's like, no, I'm going to go through this again. So here is to a second adoption. So thank you. And I would like to ask you all to speak on behalf of this adoption.
The Office of Child Advocate is in full support of this adoption, and I'm also covering for the assigned child attorney, but I know the CASA has been very involved with this family, so I don't know if you want to say a couple of words in support.
I just want to say that I truly support the adoption. Judah's had a journey the past 2 years. She's received tremendous love all throughout her journey. But she just radiates with confidence and support and love that she's in her family home now. She's just very sweet, and she has an amazing brother, Isaiah, who she will learn a lot from and she'll just thrive with.
And this gives me an opportunity to thank our CASAs and our OCAs who are always on this journey with these families. I want to thank this CASA who really wanted Judah to be in the best home possible. And when I read the report that this lady spent a day moving furniture and all sorts of things to make this happen and fought to have this child in a permanent, thriving home, I'm very appreciative. Thank you for everything you've done. And so, Ms. Payne, I'm going to ask you to tell me why you want me to grant this adoption.
Okay, I'm going to try not to cry.
It's okay, crying's allowed.
So I'm going to tell the story of this family standing here because it's part of the celebration of this day. So the two older children who are standing with us have embedded themselves in our family. They started with us through foster care, and they were reunified with their father, but they never left. And when Isaiah came and was staying with us, I asked them what was the relationship they wanted. Is he their friend? Is he a cousin? Is he their brother? And they chose that he would be their brother. And now that Miss Judah has come, she is their sister. And so these four are forever unified because of how our family has been bonded together. And I'm so grateful because today Isaiah's birth family is here, Judah's birth family is here, their adopted family is all here, and we all get to celebrate together.
And adoption isn't a journey, and it isn't always the planned out. I'm a person who plans. I know what the road's going to look like. It's going to go straight, and I'm going to go walk straight. And then all of a sudden, I'm not walking straight. I'm walking around obstacles, and that's the journey of adoption. There's obstacles, but we overcome those obstacles. And like I said, I believe that Judah was meant to be with you. And maybe that road wasn't straight to get here, but it's here. And so it's with great joy that I grant this adoption to Shayna Desiree Payne, and I name her Judah Desiree Olivia Payne. And these are all of your documents. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Very. I serve with Judge McGiffin and Judge Pyatt here in Kent County. I wanted to share today the celebration for the Jackson family, and I would ask them all to come up. Now, I'm going to say this. The Jackson family, largely defined, is one of those villages that Director Parker talked about. So anybody who wants to come up to help Miss Jackson and the children celebrate, come on up. Mr. Snyder. So one of the problems with going third or fourth on an agenda is everybody already said what you were going to say, and the people coming after you have time to rearrange. Will share with you all, and I've shared often this in the courtroom. I am not a family of adoption, and I was not familiar with adoption until I had the privilege of taking on my job. Instead, I have a child, my youngest son has profound autism. And I realized when I started becoming part of his village, the village that Director Parker, I've lost her in the crowd, that she talked about, really resonated with me, Director Parker, your comments, because I learned it takes a village. Come on, you think, no, I'm sneaking on in there. That it takes a village. And when I started getting in with my village, the autism and developmental disabilities community, I began noticing families that were fostering children, families that had adopted children, both with special needs and without. And I watched them and how special that engagement was. I didn't pick my son, love him to death, didn't pick him. But the families that I'm honored to watch, grow, and develop in our court proceedings, that's a chosen family, and that's a very, very special thing. I've heard Director Parker also said what I often say when I do these in the courtroom, is that I feel superfluous today. I remember doing my first adoption, and I thought, what the devil can I ever say or do? These people are already a family. I can sign off on some paperwork, and that's exactly how I feel. I think today's particularly special. Ms. Jackson, I'm going to dish on you a little bit. These two young ladies have had a lifetime of experience, even though they're only 8 and 9 years old. They've had a very difficult time of it, but their healing journey began earlier this year when Ms. Jackson took them in. It continues today, and there is not a doubt in my mind that they have a wonderful, loving resolution to a very difficult history. I'm going to read something that one of the people from the social report, the paperwork we received, said about Ms. Jackson. Ms. Jackson appears regularly in front of all of us in Kent County, and perhaps some of the other judges too, in a different role, in her role with the division. Many of you probably know her, probably not telling you anything you don't know. But the social report described her as open, present, supportive, reliable, and affectionate. I see that from her every time she testifies in front of me. But I'm going to tell you a story about her. So we did, in Kent County earlier this year, we did a mock trial to help CASAs prepare. Ms. Jackson participated in that, and what I learned during that day is she is drop-dead funny as well. So that is, and humor is something that carries all of us through. It's, to me, one of the highest forms of reaching out to God, sharing our joy, sharing our laughter. So there is that as well. Ms. Jackson, I'm going to put Ms. Collison on the spot first to make sure she still agrees with this. I'm assuming you still agree. I'm going to give a shout out because I don't think they get enough credit. Mr. Snyder was our represented the Division of Family Services in this, and the prosecutors in these cases go along this journey with all of us, and I've always appreciated the professionalism he has shown. So I'm going to give him a shout out even though he wouldn't come up here with us. Ms. Collison,
Yes.
What do you think about
Oh
this?
my goodness, I have lost sleep over this one. And then Jalea came along, and me and the CASA, our team just took a breath of fresh air and said, they're gonna be okay. And so this case in particular, we wholeheartedly support it, and I'm so excited for your family.
All right. So, Ms. Jackson, you want to tell me why you decided to step down this slightly different road? Wait a minute, you got to come on over here. Can you girls come over?
Excuse me. So as you all know, I work for the division. Taisha and Tayana was a case that my entire unit up here had to help take care of because they are one of many siblings. I also was a foster parent through this journey, and it's been a process. It's been a process. I decided to adopt because I had a relationship with both of the girls from the beginning. I seen them in a different light, and then I think it kind of sealed the fate no matter what struggles and challenges we faced when they had a tragedy in July of this year. It was, It was the same tragedy that I went through in 2015 and my oldest in 2019. I said I wasn't going to cry. that made us stronger. It made us bond on a different level. I knew as a foster parent, with the goal being adoption, that I could never give up on them, and that's still my thing. I will never give up on them. They will always have a mom, but I am still always going to be mom. And through this process, we've gained a lot of family. They have their sister, Tynesia, up here. I think Star's up here somewhere. And our entire DFS family truly loves them. So, and Auntie Jen in the back. I see Auntie Jen. So, yeah, these are my girls. So, yeah.
You do. Absolutely. Ms. Jackson, you deserve the girls and they deserve you. So Judge Pyatt came up with the wand idea. I'm going to give her props. Let's see if I can do this. Do you guys want to come over? So I am thrilled, privileged, and incredibly honored, and feel great love in my heart to approve the adoption, Ms. Jackson's adoption of these two beautiful young ladies. She has also selected the family. The girls and Ms. Jackson have selected two of the most beautiful names I think I've ever heard for children. Judge Pyatt, how do I turn it on like that? All right. With that said, I approve the adoption. You gotta stay out of here. Of Miss Jada Armani Jackson as the loved and loving daughter of Miss Jackson. And not to be outdone, let's see if we can get it on. We did it. I'm equally thrilled to approve the Miss Jackson's adoption of Jaylani Amore, love, right? Amore Jackson. Thank you all. Ms. Jackson, certificate suitable for framing. Extra paperwork that no one will ever read. Thank you all so much. How do you want to do it now?
All right, good morning, everyone. Hopefully, I don't know if this microphone's working. Can you all hear me? All right, I have not been accused of being quiet, so I'll try to do my best. I'm Judge Hurst. I'm one of the judges in Newcastle County, and adoption is very near and dear to my heart because I am the adoptive aunt to 4 children, and so I know what my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, the process that they went through, in addition to being a child advocate for many years. So I'm delighted that I get to be here as well and share in this personal experience. But today, I get an even more special role because I get to officiate the adoption of Tavon King and Ayla Cheatwood, and I hope they're here. If the whole family could come up, please, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, and anyone else you want to bring up, and if Miss Thorpe is here, please come up as well. Did we get everybody? All right. Sadly, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the kids or Mr. and Mrs. Thomas in person because, as you can see, they have very, very busy lives and a wonderfully blended family already, but I'm delighted to see you in real life today. So today we're here to have the adoption petition considered for Cassia Stanton Thomas and Mr. Charles Thomas for the kids, Tavon King and Ayla. And I see the boys are wearing matching outfits. Very nice. To be recognized as the legal parents of the kids as their own children and to witness the official creation of this amazing family. And I will tell you that even though I haven't gotten to see you all in person, when Tavon joined the family in 2023, I know that what I had heard a lot was that he was an incredible big brother and he worried very much about his younger sister and younger brother. And it was a deep sigh of relief when I heard that the Thomas family that already has a lot of love and a lot of children were willing to open their hearts and their home to Ayla and King as well, knowing that they were going to have a whole lot to juggle. So I'm sure your house is filled with what I like to call delightful chaos, but I have no doubt that you'll continue to juggle it all with love, joy, and a lot of grace, as I know you do. What I also know is that Tavon has a lot of energy, is an amazing big brother, and I hear that you're a wonderful storyteller, so I hope that one day you'll be able to tell everyone the story of how important today was, where today, nothing's really changing because you're already a family. Today is just the day it's legal. I also know that King is a great artist, likes drawing, and likes Spider-Man, and Ayla has a smile that lights up her room. You want to smile? And it's nice to see how active she is because all three of these kids have had a lot of different life experiences and very challenging issues, and I just see how they're flourishing in the home of the Thomas family, and I couldn't be more grateful. But to the kids, what I want to say is the heart is a muscle, and the more you exercise it, the stronger it gets, just like if you do push-ups. And what I know is your heart is getting bigger and larger because of the love that the Thomas family gives you and the love you give them in return. So keep exercising that heart muscle. And to Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, I want to thank you for going through this roller coaster of a process. I know that it's a lot, but you've shown your dedication, your advocacy, and most importantly, the grace of adding these three incredible, wonderful children to your home that was already so full of love. So I thank you so much. So to that end, do you accept the responsibility as parents to provide guidance, support, respect, encouragement, trust, understanding, and love for these children? All right. Do you promise to provide them with food, clothing, shelter, health care, education, and protection to ensure that they have a safe and nurturing environment to grow? All right, and then what I'd like to do before I grant this officially is I'd love to hear from either Mr. Cave or Ms. Thorpe. If you'd like to tell me your position on the adoption, you might have to turn that on.
Good morning again. It has been a journey for this family and these children, and I'm just glad the Thomases, you were there, not only the first taken, Tyvon or Tivon, but then as siblings, that showed a commitment because I know it's not easy. So we're in full support. I know Ms. Thorpe has been along on this journey as well, so I know she has some words to share.
I'm just excited to be here to bear witness to Tivon, King, and Ayla going into their forever home, a home that's loving, with a lot of kindness, joy, and I know that they will thrive and be productive citizens in the future.
All right. And then, most importantly, I would love if any of the family members or Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, if you would like to say anything, we have a microphone, but I don't want you to feel pressured. Oh, it sounds like Mr. Thomas is volunteering Mrs. Stanton Thomas.
Well, I'll just say this, that it's a joy to be here. We adopted, and I'm going to bring Elijah over there, Toby and Taylor first. We adopted them. I initially had Elijah and Taylor. They went back, but then they had to come back for some unforeseen circumstances. And Toby wasn't with me the first time, so we were able to adopt those three. So I want to celebrate them too, because we didn't do this for them, and we want them to know that we love them. And this is for you too, because we didn't get the chance to celebrate them like that. They're a little bit more shy than these three. So these three. When I asked these three if they wanted to participate in a celebration, they were like, yes, yes. And then Judge Hurt said, just tell them they're going to have cupcakes. And that was just like a bonus, so, because they love to eat. But we had Tivon first. And when Tivon came, he had been bounced around a lot. And it was a joy to have him. And they just asked me, they said, can you, we were just finalizing their adoption. And they said, can you just help us out for a weekend? you know, just the weekend, you know, because if we don't get a placement for him, he's going to be stuck here all night. So I told my husband what was going on, and he said, okay. So for a weekend, we'll do it for a weekend. And T-Vine, usually when they come, they don't have a lot. So my first thing was, okay, let me go to Walmart, make sure they have what they need. And I'm on my way to Walmart, and my husband was there, and I was picking up the other kids. And I called them. Something said call them. And I said, have they gotten there yet? Has T-Vine gotten there yet? And he said, yes. And I said, did they bring him anything? He said, psh. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, just wait till you get here. He was packed up with so much stuff. Like, he had so much stuff, and suitcases and everything. And I was like, dang, what's going on? They said a weekend. So I meet this young man. He gets on the couch, and he says, can I stay forever till I die? And I'm like, they set me up. So I called Monica. I called Monica, and I said, Monica, what's going on? And she said, well, you know, it's just going to be the weekend. So we went through the weekend, and on Monday, I'm thinking, like, we can't let this kid go. He's like this already. It's home to him. So she said, on Monday, she says, well, by the way, would you consider just keeping him a little bit longer? So that little bit longer turned into this, because T-Vine and King was placed, but they didn't want to adopt. And I asked him, and he said, yes, can you get my brother and my sister? So we said we would get them, and we never regretted it. They're loving, sweet children, and they deserve a permanent home. They deserve to be safe. They deserve security, and that's all we want to do. You know, I myself wasn't officially adopted, but I was raised by, I call her my God-sent parent. She wasn't related to me. My mom was young. It was 4 of us, 4 girls. My grandmother, before she died, she was our neighbor. She asked her, she said, she knew she was dying. She said, when I go, can you take her? And she took me. And that spending the night for one night turned into her raising me. And I have no regrets. She did a great job. I love her. Even to this day, I love her. She raised me, so I feel like I'm just giving back for what was given to me.
All right. That was beautiful. And I know that Judge Pyatt and Judge Very anointed the kids, but what makes this family so magical is that you all love each other. So I'm going to ask the parents to give the wands to the kids, because you're the reason they're a family. All I'm doing is I get the power to sign off on the adoption, and there's some buttons there. But I would like to say, by the powers vested in me based on the state of Delaware, I am now declaring that this adoption is valid, and I am ordering that T-Von Cheatwood, King Cheatwood, and Ayla Cheatwood shall be the children of Cassia Stanton Thomas and Charles Thomas, and for all legal intents and purposes, the kids will now be known as T-Von Emmanuel Thomas, King Joseph Thomas, and Ayla Ruth Thomas. Congratulations. And the only legal requirement I have is if I can get a picture of the whole family after the ceremony.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Good morning. Is this working? You hear this? So good morning. I'm Judge Peter Jones. I am in Sussex County, in Georgetown, and what a great day. I don't know if you can hear the underlying noise in this room, and usually in a court proceeding, we wouldn't have that happen. But what we find in adoption hearings in the courtroom, there's always noise going on, and the adoptive parents are very worried about this, especially when the small child is grabbing the microphone and going into the microphone, and another child is running around the courtroom, and I usually say, it doesn't make any difference. Today, we're just here for an adoption, so we don't care what they do in the courtroom. Judges do these adoption ceremonies a little different. I have used a adoption ceremony for years, and that's what I'm going to be using today. But I do welcome the O'Toole family to come forward. And if they want family members to come with them, they certainly are welcome to do that. We have the CASA, Ms. Sukup, if you'd come forward. And this is really interesting today because we have, as the DFS worker in this case, one of the adoptive parents. And even though I use a more formalized adoption ceremony, I've already let Mr. and Mrs. O'Toole know that I'm going to give them an opportunity to make some comments. And I also said if any other family member wants to make a comment, that would be okay, and they quickly shook their head no. All right, so we're here today for the very special occasion to consider the petition for adoption of Reagan Jane O'Toole, in which Abby and Kevin O'Toole seek to become the recognized and legal parents of this child. Abby and Kevin, we're here today to formally and legally recognize what you and Reagan have been for some time, and that is a family. Children are given to parents, whether by birth or adoption, in trust, to welcome them to become part of their family, to love them, to raise them, and to prepare them to become productive members of society. To that end, do you accept the responsibility as parents to support, respect, encourage, provide trust and understanding for this child?
Absolutely.
Okay. Will you provide the material needs of food, clothing, shelter, health care, and education needed to ensure that this child has a safe and nurturing environment in which to grow? The family is the basic unit, the foundation of society. From the earliest beginnings of civilization, we have recognized the family as the cornerstone of our society. And it's not a strong society that builds a strong family, it's strong families that build a strong and lasting society. Adoption bestows important rights and obligations on parents and children, and it provides social, emotional, and family kinship which every child needs, regardless of age. And it affirms the child's sense of belonging. Adoption establishes the formal parent-child relationship, and it assumes responsibilities for benefit and protection of a child. Reagan gains the security of permanently belonging to a family, signified by a shared identity and home. And this child also becomes part of an extended family of relatives and friends, some of whom are here today. And it's this It is this shared love, caring, and mutual respect and commitment to each other that ties the members of a family together forever. So, Ms. Jackson, you're here today representing the Division of Family Services, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And has the division provided social services to this family regarding this adoption?
Yes.
Okay. And has a social report been prepared as required by law?
Yes.
And is the information in that report true and accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And is it your recommendation that the granting of this petition is in the best interest of this child?
Yes.
And is there anything you would like to add to that?
So Abby and Kevin have been with Reagan since the very beginning. They've been very loving parents to Reagan, just meeting every need. I love that they are maintaining the bond with Reagan's twin siblings, who I also have. But they do a great job raising her, and I'm very excited that they are going to give her a lifelong love. So, yeah, they're amazing.
Thank you. And as you can see, Reagan's former name is Kalani, and there are twins of Calvin and Calvani. Sometimes very confusing in the courtroom. Okay. And Stephanie Sukup is our CASA.
Yes.
And were you appointed to serve as the CASA in this matter?
I was.
And have you completed an independent assessment?
Absolutely.
And is it your recommendation that granting this petition is in the best interest of this child?
100%.
And do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Oh, okay. Just real quickly, it has been such an honor to be a CASA to this family. They have just taken amazing care of this baby from the minute they got her to now, and I know into the future. And what they've done has made me feel part of the family. And I'm going to be with this kid forever.
Thank you very much. All right, Abby or Kevin, is there anything you'd like to say? Okay.
So Reagan came to us at 2 weeks old, and from the moment we met her, we knew she was ours. So yes, there was highs and lows going through the whole process of fostering, but at the end of the day, I went to sleep each night, and I know my husband felt the same, where she was ours, she wasn't going anywhere, and she just emits the most light that I've ever met from any child, and she is our ray of sunshine, and we are so blessed to have her in our life, and we know that God put her with us, and this was meant to be, and we can't wait for the next few years, but we also want time to slow down, because I feel like we just picked her up from the hospital, and now here we are.
So let's give Reagan something to hold. All right. Thank you. I have reviewed the petition in this case, and it meets all statutory requirements, and I've also reviewed the evidence presented, and I'm satisfied that it is in this child's best interest that to grant this petition, so the adoption is approved, and the child shall hereinafter be known as Reagan Jane O'Toole. Congratulations.
Good morning. Okay, this microphone. Okay. Last but certainly not least is my family, the Stewart family, and I'm going to ask everyone that's here to share in this special celebration to please come to the stage. Good morning, good morning. I'm bringing up the rear for the court, but I am delighted to be here on National Adoption Day. We are here to consider the petition for adoption in which Jennifer Octavia Stewart seeks to become the legal parent of Brielle Lynn Vega Davis, born June 22nd, 2017, and Annalise Vega Davis, born October 26, 2018, and to witness the legal creation of this very special family. In family court, we refer to adoptions as our rainbows, as on a more regular basis, we experience things that are not as joyous as today. Adoption bestows important rights and obligations on a parent. It provides social, emotional, and legal family kinship for a child, and it affirms the child's rights of inheritance. It establishes a formal parent-child role in which the parent assumes the responsibilities for the benefit and protection of a child. The child gains the security of permanently belonging to a family, signified by a shared identity and a shared home. The child also becomes part of an extended family with kinship members. It is the shared love, caring, mutual respect, and commitment to each other that ties the members of the family together forever. I'm going to ask the social worker to state your name.
Oh, hi, I'm Victoria Jorgensen with Children's Choice.
And has your agency provided the social services to this family regarding the adoption now before the court?
Yes, we have.
Is the information contained in this report accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
And is it your recommendation that granting this petition is in the best interest of these girls?
Yes, it is.
Then I will admit the social report for the record. And the council worker, can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Alfred Cave on the Office of the Child Advocate.
And were you appointed to serve as the guardian ad litem for Brielle Lynn Marie and Annalise Journey?
Yes.
And have you completed an independent assessment of Brielle and Annalise circumstances?
Yes.
And do you have an opinion as to whether the proposed adoption is in the best interest of Brielle and Annalise?
Office of the Child Advocate is in full support of this adoption petition.
Thank you very much. The record reflects both Brielle and Annalise have been with Ms. Stewart for more than 6 months. Ms. Stewart is dedicated and loving to her girls. Ms. Stewart has been unwavering in her commitment to Brielle and Annalise, as demonstrated over the last several months they have been in her care. Ms. Stewart has provided the girls daily care, educational, and medical needs, as well as their overall well-being and development. Brielle and Annalise have experienced a loving and caring home environment. Ms. Stewart is prepared to meet the girls' physical, emotional, educational, and financial needs. Ms. Stewart has a good standing in her community and a supportive network should she need assistance. Brielle and Annalise have expressed their desire to be adopted by Ms. Stewart. Ms. Stewart, I'm going to ask a few questions, and I would like you to respond. Okay, what did I do with the other mic? Oh. Do you accept the responsibility as parent to provide guidance, support, respect, encouragement, trust, and understanding for Brielle and Annalise?
Absolutely.
Will you provide the food, clothing, shelter, health care, and education needed to ensure Brielle and Annalise's safety and well-being?
Absolutely.
And can you pass the mic to your two daughters? Jayla and Jenna, do you accept the responsibility as big sisters to Brielle and Annalise?
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like to say, Ms. Stewart?
I would just like to say that when Brielle and Bugs, well, her nickname is Bugs, we call her Bugs, when they first came to me, I just knew that they were going to be mine. And eventually their mother wound up passing away. So I just knew at that moment they were going to be my daughters. And I've always had a desire to expand my family, and God just saw fit for it to happen this way. So they've been a blessing to me as I have been a blessing to them. And I just thank y'all for this opportunity. And girls, I love you. They're my babies.
With joy and great pride, based on the record and all we have heard this morning, by the powers vested in me, I hereby grant Jennifer Octavia Stewart's petition for adoption, and from this day forward, Brielle, I guess I better look at Brielle will, from this day forward, be known as Brielle Lynn Marie Stewart. Congratulations. And Annalise, you don't want to hold it? Okay, well, it's okay, because by the power vested in me, you will now be known as Annalise Journey Stewart. Congratulations. Okay, the mic is tired. It's had enough. Congratulations. Let me sign your certificate for Annalise. And the pen is dying on yours, Brielle, so we'll get another pen. Make you official. Thank you very much.
Can you all hear me okay? All right, so who is not filled with a spirit of absolute gratitude and love right now? Like, this is wonderful. I am so thankful that each of you had the opportunity to be a part of this, and really what I would like to do is thank the families who invited us into your family today to be a part of this. So thank you so much for giving us that opportunity. You know, as I look around this room, I see so many people that are involved directly and indirectly in child welfare. And the fact that everyone, you know, took time out of their weekend before a busy time of the year to come and spend the day is really shows the commitment and the dedication that each of you have to the work that we do. You are a part of the village. I know that seems to be the theme of today, but it really just stands. We are a village. We are here to support one another. And again, just very, very grateful for all of you having the opportunity to come and spend the day with us. I'd like to point out a couple of guests who joined us today that I'm really, really happy that we're able to experience this and see the work that we do to support families across the state. So I'd like to thank Senator Hoffner and Senator Buxton for being with us today. So thank you both. And somehow they were able to not be on the agenda to speak, but I would like to thank our Cabinet Secretary, Steve Yateman, and our Deputy Cabinet Secretary, Allison McGonigal, for being with us today. I think next year we'll find a way for them to make it on the agenda so you don't have to hear me the entire time that we're talking. I also would like to take a moment to thank all of the judges that are here with us today. Judge Pyatt, Judge Very, Judge Hurst, Judge Jones, and Judge Coppage. Thank you all. It's very nice for us in child welfare to spend time with our family court judges and it be a really positive and happy experience. So thank you all for doing that. I appreciate that. We have members from the Office of the Child Advocate. We have members from the Department of Justice, from the Division of Family Services. The village that supports our adoption agencies are all here today just to make this a really special day. Interagency Council on Adoption brought this event together. I'd like to recognize the co-chairs of that, Wendy Atanasio and Abby Fisher from Children and Families First. So thank you for pulling this together. And I just want to take a short moment to highlight a couple of individuals in the adoption community who were recognized this year for their commitment to this process. So each year there is an award ceremony called Angels in Adoption. And in Delaware, we were very fortunate to have two individuals recommended to be recognized by that program. So Lynn Frapont, who was with Children and Families First, was recommended for this honor by She was recommended by Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester. Lynn is an adoptive parent. She has been recognized by the Child Welfare League of America and other organizations for the commitment that she has to adoption. And Lynn is also an author. So we're very happy to see that she's getting recognition for the support that she provides to the village. In addition to Lynn, another one of her coworkers, Mike McHugh, was recommended for this honor by Congresswoman Sarah McBride. Mike is also an adoptive parent, and he was a foster parent, and he has been a very strong advocate for changes in legislation related to adoption. And much like Lynn, he's also an author. So these folks are overachieving on top of helping the village. So as we leave today, as we move to the next stage of everyone's journey, I would like to give everyone an opportunity to join us afterwards for refreshment and fellowship in the back of the room. But I just want to leave you with what I feel is something that's kind of led me on my journey today to here. And it is a quote from President John Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. And I appreciate all of you by living by those words every single day. Thank you all very much.